Bonjour. Welcome to another 5 Minute Molière. It seems I can never talk for 5 minutes about Molière without mentioning Louis XIV, the so-called Sun King. Louis XIV had a huge influence on Molière's career and even on the kind of plays Molière wrote. So let's give a 5 minute session to touch on a few highlights about Louis XIV, the king who was 16 years younger than Molière, but who lived 42 years longer after Molière died in 1673. Louis XIV was called the Sun King because in 1653, when he'd only been king for 10 years, he danced the role of the sun, among other roles, in the Ballet Royal de la Nuit. But also, like the sun, he was the center of everything, and all else revolved around him. He was a good dancer. The court ballets had several purposes besides showing off the king's figure, his shapely legs, and besides the fact that they were lavish court spectacles for the entertainment of king and court. They also served a diplomatic purpose, often directed at some visiting dignitary. Molière brought a new dynamic to court entertainments when he introduced the comédie ballet without ending the court ballets, but the comédie ballet was a whole new genre. Louis XIV was so captivated by this combination of comic storytelling and with music and dance that he often ordered Molière to drop whatever other thing he was working on and create a new comédie ballet for the court for some special occasion, usually in about 10 days or 2 weeks. The king had a lot of women in his life besides his queen, the Spanish-born Maria Theresa. There are so many books on the subject of the king and his women, one of whom was Madame de Maintenon, famously prudish, but he did secretly marry her after Queen Maria Theresa died. There's another book I can't find right now about his longtime mistress, Madame de Montespan, who had the nickname Athénaïs, and that's the name of the book I can't find. Before the king and court could move to Versailles, Louis XIV was constantly traveling from one of his palaces to another, Fontainebleau, Chambord, Saint-Germain-en-Laye, and Molière's troupe would be summoned to pack up everything from Paris and travel to the court and give them a few days or a week's worth of entertainment. So for Molière, being favored by the king was both a blessing and an inconvenience. Molière received many favors from the king, who even stood as godfather to Molière's first child, named Louis, of course. No wonder so many people, so many artists were jealous of Molière. Molière never got inside Versailles, which was not completed until 1682, but Molière died in 1673. He did, however, get several of his works performed on the grounds at Versailles. There were some major festivals, and Molière brought works to please the king and court outdoors. That's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for listening to another session of 5 Minute Molière. Merci, and à la prochaine fois.